Most people are told there's one way to build a brand and grow a network. Put yourself out there, cold call, hustle for visibility. But what if that model doesn't fit how you're actually wired? Jarrett Thomas bet everything on a different answer, and it changed the trajectory of his entire career. In this episode, listeners will discover what it actually looks like to stop building for someone else and start building something of your own. On your terms. Jarrett's story isn't about a shortcut, it's about a turning point, a clear vision, and a decision to leverage what you're naturally wired for instead of forcing a model that was never built for you. You'll walk away with a new lens for evaluating your own starting point and the convictions that the right foundation is the one you choose intentionally, not the one that everyone is using or the ones that people are recommending for you. So with that, I want to say welcome, bro. This is going to be an exciting one. We've already been chopping it up. I'm like, we got to record because there's things that like I know are valuable that we're already talking about, but I need to make sure that everybody else gets to hear it. So one, welcome. Two, thank you for making the time because you are the James Brown of the business right now. You're the hardest working man out there.
Trying, bro. I want to say thank you, bro. Right? Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you for being a big brother, a resource, mentor, like all of the above, man. Like straight up. I'll tell the story real quick, but the first sales job I ever had, Sean was working there. Sean was the only brother, the only person there that pulled me by the side and was like, yo, bro, if you want to do this, do that. If you want this outcome, this is what you have to do. And gave me the game. I was fresh from the streets. I was working at BBQ smelling like ribs. I didn't know what corporate, like, I don't know what the cooler talk is like. I don't know how to engage with people like that, right? All I knew was hustle. Hustle, hustle, hustle. Be good to people. Hustle, be good to people. And he was the only brother that pulled me aside and gave me the game. And that helped me change my career there and so many other places after that. So I appreciate you, bro. It's always love.
I appreciate you, bro. I was given the same blessings, and what we learned is you pay that forward. Uh, I'm older school because I'm older. And I was having a conversation with someone where like he was like, "Oh, that was good what you said." I was like, "Bro, it's not that I'm smarter than you, it's just that I've lived longer. Like I've seen it more to be able to know what I'm looking at, so I can tell you what it is that you're looking at a little bit faster than something that it would have taken you a little longer to come around to." So I remember being in rooms in the rooms that both of us have been in. And I was in those rooms when, we could go months without seeing another brother or sister. So like it would be minorities in the back of the room and women in the back of the room. And if you had an idea, no matter how good it was, you had to pass it forward and teach them how to be able to do it so that it could actually be created or done. So for me, we had a rule. It was just the understanding of, listen, when you get in a room, you have a responsibility to put a foot in the door so the next person could get in the room. So on site, as soon as I saw you, I'm like, you know what? You broke it down. Like, here's what I'm doing. Here's my why. And I'm like, okay, that's all I needed to hear. If you're telling me that your why is something that's enough to be able to drive you and all you really need is a chance, who am I to stand in the way of your chance? Let me make sure that you actually get the chance. A fighting chance is what we really are talking about. We're talking about a fighting chance. Those that say it, sometimes they say it and they don't actually mean it. They just, because it's nice to say, it's the jargon, it's the thing that they're told to say. The person that says it and they mean it because it doesn't take long to see what they did with it. I saw you get it out of the mud. And that's where my respect comes for you because like there were some people that might have gotten it because of who they knew and things like that. I saw who you were when you walked in. I know what you told me you were trying to accomplish. You've exceeded that. And now you're back out here doing the very thing that you said that I did for you, for everybody else.
Absolutely. You got to pay it forward, bro. My approach was just different, bro. A lot of people in there, I felt like where we came from in that place, it was like they were just happy to be there in the moment. I wasn't supposed to be there at all. And so my perspective was crazy. I told you the story on the joint when I came in first day of school, first day of work. They're going around the room. I'm from Buffalo. I'm from this one. I'm from Jackson State. I'm from all these different universities. I raised my hand. I said, I'm Jarrett Thomas from the Bronx, and I'm going to be a top seller here. Because it was either that or go back to BBQ smelling like ribs, or even worse, going back to the streets. And I wasn't doing that with a 1-year-old. So the fact that they let me in the door, I said, I'm going to learn this business. I'm going to love the business. I'm going to outwork. You can do a lot of things, but you're not going to outwork me. You're not going to outthink me.
There you go.
Two things I can control based on what I do. And so that was my mindset going in. I don't even know what made me say that, bro, but that's how I felt. And Tommy Master, people was laughing at me. Tommy Master, he looked at me like, damn, I never heard that in a training
Mm-hmm.
room like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
different. And 6 months later, we were that. Six
Yeah.
months later, right? Because when people went home, I'm staying there, right? They're trying to beat that rush hour. I'm trying to make the next call. I want to be on the board. I want to show them that I'm of value, regardless of what I look like, regardless what it is. You see my name, I'm helping keep the lights on, and I'm trying my damn hardest. And I knew if I did that, I got a fighter's chance, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's keep it a being and give it perspective, because I know we're talking about this and some people may go, well, I mean, why y'all going on about it? This was a job where you came in and people were brought in as temps and things like that to cold call. People weren't lasting a week. People weren't lasting a week. They by the time Friday came around, there was the walk of shame. There was, we got you to put in calls that we can either document and go, you know what, that person's worth calling back, or, you know, whichever thing that they were doing, they were gathering information. They were using temps to be able to do it. That's what I saw when they were bringing people in. And that's why there were some people that were just happy to be there, because they didn't think they were going to, you know, get a job, and they got called in and it's like, ooh, a sales job. And it's the entry point to something bigger if you know how to be able to leverage it. So that's why when you came in, I saw you and I was like, okay, they're going to give you a week. I'm going to talk to you about how to get from this week to next week. Because once you can get to the second week, then you'll start to be able to see a little bit more of what's going on. And by the time you get to the third week, they're not really looking at you as one of those people that they're getting ready to get rid of. Once you get to a month, then it's you doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, because now you got to lay the land a little bit better. So
Yeah,
that was me looking at that conversation. That was the environment that I want people to be able to understand. You were brought in to fail,
absolutely.
and you figured out how to be able to succeed. And because you figured out how to be able to succeed, it turned it into something that was bigger than they could ever give you or take away from you.
That's
Because
it.
look at where you're at now.
They empowered me, bro. It was a boiler room. They empowered me. They showed me what I can do in a high pressure situation with everything on the line. If I'm saying I want to feed my son, that's my first salary position. When I actually got to that month mark or 2 month mark or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it was, that was my first salary position in my life. I wasn't letting that go for anybody, right? And it just was going to be hustle, hustle. But you know what I ended up learning in that was, how bad did I want it? What
Yes.
am I willing to do for success, right? How many no's am I willing to hear to get that one yes, right? And all of that is perspective. Some people are going to sales jobs, especially if you're cold calling, you get 10 no's and you're already discouraged, instead of realizing that's just part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the problem. Maybe I called the wrong person. Sometimes it's luck. Sometimes you call that right person on the first call. Sometimes it takes
Yes.
679 calls to get to that person.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I'm going to get to that person no matter what. And that was that
That's the
tenacity
work.
that made it that made it work, bro. I didn't have any sheets. I didn't have any territories. I didn't have any companies I was going to call the week before. No. And I was just ballsy enough to call the people. I was ballsy enough to call the CEO, even though I'm wet behind the ears. But I'm personable enough to keep their attention just for a little bit, to bring a little bit of value so we can have a larger conversation. And that's what I
Absolutely.
was really good at, bro. And we ended up doing a great thing there. 3 years there, bro. I was leading in sales for, I think, 8 straight quarters I led there before everybody left.
Wow.
8 straight quarters. I was number one, did
Wow.
250,000 a quarter.
Wow.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah, I don't want to give that place too much light by talking about them, but so much. But like,
Yeah,
I really want people to understand, when you say boiler room, it was something where like it's every single day you have to earn your place for the team that you were on.
that's it.
Because when I went to interview, like they said, well, do you want to be a salesperson or do you want to be an account manager? When I got my experience was a salesperson was an account manager. You sold it and you managed it. So my skill set is both, but I also know like how many years I did cold calls where I had to do at least 100 dials. I know I did temp work where like temp jobs, we're talking about temp jobs and going in. I did 10 jobs where I was doing all, they would give me a list and numbers and they would just say, here, run through the list. Here's what you're trying to accomplish. And you need to be able to get this many in order to be able to come back tomorrow. So it wasn't even getting a week. It was, if you want to make it to tomorrow, you better be able to get this done. And like, I'll give you an example. A girl called me today and she said like she was trying to sell some, I don't want to say executive assistants, but that's kind of what she was trying to label it as, but they were virtual assistants. And like, she didn't have a game down right. And I feel like I spoke to her before because she called me and I was like, well, I got to be honest with you. What you're offering is not something that I could use. But so it's not a wasted call. Let me put you on the game. Let me tell you in what it is that you just told me in your sales pitch. Let me show you how to be able to polish that up. So when you get on the next call, you'll be better prepared for it. Because that's what cold calling taught me.
Yep.
You give me a list of you would get a list of like 300 numbers. And they're just trying to see how many numbers that you can get through, how long you can stay on the phone, and what information you can get out of somebody or how far you can get with it. So I had to learn quick because I'm like, you're giving me a day and I got rent to pay. So here's what I'm going to figure out. How do I get on the phone and get somebody to stay on long enough because that's going to get me past lunch? Then how do I get somebody to give me the answers that I need so this way I can come back in tomorrow? And I paid attention, the details. When you get on the phone, sounds like I caught you at a bad time. You know what? When would be a better time? You start knowing when to ask the follow-up questions and things to be able to reframe it so you can get further into the conversation. When you're in sales and you're getting timed on calls and you have to get a certain amount of dials in and things like that, that's the game. Anybody can dial the numbers and dial and get a bunch of dials in. When they're basing it on time on calls and closes, that's when you really start learning how to sell. And that's the sales that I see you do. And that's what I'm like, as much as I say I'm not sales because I learned what I didn't like and chose not to do it anymore.
That's a fact.
It's your gift because you are still willing to do it. My thing is, I put my dues in.
Yo, that's how
I'll be damned I'm doing that.
That's how I feel today. But you know what I'll tell you too, I want to touch on, bro. What made me stand out too, what I figured out, and then this is a good sales tip for anybody that's in sales right now. When I was in that boiler room environment, what I realized I was having too many different conversations and I didn't know anybody's one pain point.
Yes.
So what I did was, instead of me calling a food QSR company, a this company, a e-com company, a fitness company, right? They all have a different set of unique challenges.
Yes.
So what I did was, I said, what do I know a lot of? I was doing home theaters, right? I'm like, all right, yeah, I just installed mine. I kind of learned a lot from it, right? I'm installing mines. I'm learning from the dude, da-da-da. But then what I realized is I'm going to call every single person because they all have the same set of challenges. Yes. So when I call you, when I'm speaking to John in West Virginia, right, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get more bookings. You're trying to increase your revenue, right? How would it make sense if you put you on HGTV and Better Homes and Gardens? What would that make sense if I put you next to an article about home theaters? It only makes sense because you're a small solopreneur, entrepreneur that's trying to get your name out there. So by the time, what I did, bro, I went on Yelp and I took every single home theater company and I did it. I called every single company in the United States. I knew them on a first name basis. If I didn't close you last week, this week, I'm closing you 3 weeks from now. And I would put it in. And you know what? It was a vertical that nobody touched. I actually went back to, I'll tell you, keep it real. I went back to work last year because I had to go to Cannes. It was a $10,000 expense to get me, the camera crew, the whole crew out there. I'm like, look, let me just go back to work. Let me just see if, bro, I was another boiler room. And I'm like, what? I'm telling you, I have a personal brand with 20,000 people and I can make a call. And so to give you context, they're an events company. So they basically would reach out to brands and say, hey, why don't you bring your brand there? And we're going to bring your target audience to this event because they're already there. And you get to get 10 pitches. That's what we're charging. 10 unique pitches to your targeted audience at this event.
Okay.
And the people that were speaking were people I've had on my podcast, bro. The keynotes are driving the traffic. These are my friends. And so I'm trying to explain this to them. And they're like, you know what they tell me? Just make calls,
Yeah.
keep dialing. And it was so crazy. People were making 200 calls to get one meeting. I would send out 50 emails and get 7 meetings because I knew exactly who I was talking to, right? But they didn't want that. They wanted to work. They wanted to show that, I wasn't with it. But long story short, how I differentiated myself, they had a terrible Salesforce problem. Nobody would input because they're calling so much. They're not saying, hey, John doesn't want to do not call. They're going to the next call. They didn't say Sean didn't want to be contacted again. So now we're all targeting the same companies because there's no verticals.
Repeat dials.
Repeat dials from the same company. People are going on LinkedIn. They're bashing the company. We're killing our brand reputation. All of that, all the above. I said, what vertical nobody's touching? Bro, I went into display company. I forgot what it's called. So basically they're like, like OptiSign, they're like digital display monitors, right? Like say if you got sales, they have
okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they have the software and all that.
It's basically outdoor ads and things like that where they could be playing in a Windows store. Like, yeah, they have the TV, they're running commercials and things like that. And if the person's in the store, if it's out store, people are still able to see it and those impressions still count. So I know what you're talking about.
So I'm in retail and I'm like, bingo. and none of them businesses was in the system. I just
Mm,
happened to cold call a random VP. Now I emailed the VP, emailed them. They sent me to the VP, bro. It took 6 calls. We closed a $200,000 deal. I closed the biggest deal in that company that year, and I was 60 days in.
of course.
60 days in because I tried to find an angle. So for anybody in sales, it's find that angle. If everybody's going right, I'm going to look to myself and say, what can I do to go left? What can I do to differentiate myself, right? We're all pitching the same thing. But what is the one area? What is the one blind spot that I know you guys aren't going to call? And I found that at the other place with the home theaters, and I found it with this place here. And we end up doing it. So if you guys are in cold calling, find something that you're passionate about, that you know the business a little bit, that you can learn and still apply it to the next call. So even if I don't close you, I'm learning. It ain't a failure. I learned something. So now I'm going to use it on the next call. Y'all just spoke to John over here. You know what I'm hearing from a lot of customers? They're telling me that they're experiencing this problem. Would you say that's the same? Oh, yeah, Jarrett, how'd you know? Because I just spoke to 50 of them.
That part.
Now
That
I'm the
part right
expert.
there.
Now I'm the guy that
Yeah.
knows your problems. And I'm the guy that you like. And I'm the guy that's smiling and I can make a joke and I can do all those things and check all the boxes and solve and not sell. Then I got you.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna bring it back for a second because I said, of course, like it's easy. And it's only because I've been in the game. I've done those cold calls. Everything that you're saying makes sense to me because I had to do it. To those that haven't done it before,
Yeah.
I need you to stop, take a moment, listen to what he's saying. What I really tell people to do is like, there's going to be some things that make sense to you in the moment that you can move on right now. And then there are things that aren't going to make sense until the moment presents itself. Come back and listen to it then, because when you come back and listen to it then, it's meant for you in that moment. So not everything's going to be meant for you to move on right now, but bookmark it because you're going to hear a lot of different things that are going to be able to help you, not just now, but further down the line. Because if you choose to go down any of these paths we're talking about, you get an introduction, you're getting the onboarding, you're
Yeah.
getting the training that you get when you get in, and we're showing you how to navigate the waters once you're actually in it. So all of these things are different phases and different stages. So
Absolutely. It's like
I
songs.
will, I,
You feel
I'll
different songs.
piggyback what you said to the extent that like when Shorty called me with the virtual assistants, she had her thing where she felt like, like there's the old sales pitch. And I still say it's like they're using the 80s and 90s sales pitch. Well, I heard what you said, but let me ask you this. And my thing is, here's the problem. I've been trained on it. So I know exactly what you're doing. It's irritating to me because I know you're doing it poorly. So like between that and the fact that you're doing something and I know you're not doing it the right way, you're making me want to get off the phone faster. But again, this goes back to each one, teach one. I have a rule of leaving people better than I find them.
Yeah.
I can't do it for everybody, but for the ones that are open to not just hearing what you're saying, but not just listening, but hearing what you're saying and doing something with it.
Yeah.
I love making time for those people because I'll say something and completely forget that I said it. But in the way that life comes back around and the conversation we're having, you will run into those people someplace later, and some throwaway comment that you made or a piece of advice that you gave them actually changed their life. And when you see them later, you see what they did with it, and that's where you get the you get to see the fruit of what it is that you did. So Shorty's going through her spiel, and I'm going, okay, I've already told you no. I've already said it's not something that could work for me. And she's like, oh, well, they probably have like 6 or 7 years experience, so it'd be good. And I was like, ma'am, I'm trying to explain to you that I'm like 30, 40 years experience. So if I'm having a conversation and somebody thinks they're getting me, and I say, well, I'm going to refer you over to somebody that has 6 or 7 years experience. I said, if I put it in regular terms, if I said, okay, well, I'm going to take care of this for you, and then I'm going to give it to my 6 or 7-year-old, how would you feel?
Hmm.
So I'm going to hand something off to an adolescent when you're talking to the adult. The person is that like, no. So I said, one, that's the lesson I want you to give when you're talking to me. And this is why I'm saying no. Two, here's what I want you to be able to do, because when you're doing cold calls, and I'm assuming you're just going off a list, here's the best way to be able to work it. And I'm going to add to what you said. When you're cold calling, you're trying to figure out like what that niche is. Well, I'll put it this way. When you're calling multiple niches, you're calling multiple industries. The first 2 calls are information gathering. I want to hear what your objections are. Now, I'm not a salesperson, but I will go back to what I learned in sales. The first couple of calls are your objections. I want to hear what it is that you don't like, because I'm going to write those down. So by the time I get to the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever amount of calls that I'm calling that's in the same industry, now I have objections. And I took the time in between calls to go, well, if that's the objection, what would I say what would my solution be to be able to address that objection? So the moment you have the objections and you figure out, well, how would I answer that? Because maybe you couldn't do it on the fly, but if you take a minute and you think about what you have in front of you, then you can go, okay, well, here's how I could actually solve that objection. Now you've got frequently asked questions, you've got objections, you've got ways to be able to stay on the calls longer. That's what it took me thousands of calls to be able to learn. But I learned how to be able to go from, I got to make sure I get it through lunch so then they can bring me back the next day. And that's how I did it. They put a list in front of you. They didn't give you any of that information. I figured that out on the fly because I wanted to eat and I had bills to pay.
Absolutely.
This is what you're explaining. This is why I want people to understand. If you're doing those calls, if you're in one of those boiler room environments, use the first couple of calls to feel it out. Learn what it is that people are talking to. Learn the temperament of the people in the industry. You're not using those first couple of calls to really sell. You're using it to be able to learn something. And if you go into it with that mindset, those are people you can actually call back, because when they said they didn't want what you were selling, your thing is, you know what, fair enough. I'm just going to ask you one follow-up question because this is an opportunity for me to learn. And maybe I'll learn enough so that if I call you back, maybe I can actually offer you something that you'd be interested in.
Absolutely. I used to do that. Bro, I used to take the numbers. I'm keeping it real. Good conversation with certain level of executives.
Yes.
I would make sure anywhere I go, I would just cold call you and let you know I'm over here now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'm over here at this. I'm over here. I'm VP over here now. You know, I'm doing this. Let me know if you need anything, man. Let's have a conversation, right? But it's just all lessons and blessings. I literally sit there. I'd be like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry for cold calling you, man. Look, it's Monday morning. I don't want to call you, man. But this is what is going on. Are you dealing with this? I know I saw you did this. Da da da. Can you help me out?" And then we're having a conversation. No, the really good conversation. Now we're 21 minutes in. I know about your kids. I know about your, I know about your wife. I know what's killing you in the business. I know I feel like a partner at that point. Yes. And that's the hardest thing to do, is to get somebody that you don't know to get that credit card out and get their trust over the phone. One, you have to have good energy. You have to have a positive mindset. Yes. Your tonality has to be right. And you just cannot care about the sale. People can smell commission breath. I can smell when somebody wants to just get the money out of me versus somebody who wants to help me. So always be the latter. Always be the person that's willing to help. And then the money going to come to you. They're going to remember you. Be the one person that just stands out. They get 100 calls in a day. I don't care if it's a joke. I would joke with somebody. And even if it made you laugh, I'm glad I picked up that one.
Yeah. You're memorable.
Back, I could use a laugh today. You know what I'm saying?
You're memorable. Yeah.
Oh, man, you build those relationships, y'all, before you sell. You build before you sell. And you don't sell, you solve.
That part right there. That part right there. Because, I mean, the reality is that person was doing something before they picked up the phone. And if I never forget that part, then I'm always better than the person that just called and starts jumping straight into their pitch.
That's it.
You were doing something before you answered the phone. Did I catch you at a bad time? I'm assuming you were doing something and maybe you looked at the phone and was like, I don't recognize the number, but I'm going to answer anyway. Like, whatever your reason for answering the phone, I want to kind of start using that as a segue to be able to figure out what you got going on. Maybe you're like, no, I actually got time. Okay. So that means I can slow down my pitch and I can use this as an information gathering call that may turn into a sale, but it may not turn into a sale. But what you're giving me is enough for me to be able to get on that next call. But somebody's like, you got 30 seconds. All right. I only need 10. And if you give me 15, I might even close you in that. You know what I mean? That's where that confidence and everything comes in. Cause it's like, I learned how to be able to do what I need to do with every single call. Every single moment is a moment that you can learn from. And the moment you figure that out, you never take an L again.
Never L's. Lessons are blessings.
Yes.
Lessons are blessings. That's all we do.
I'm going to use this as a segue to kind of bring it back around, because we drop gems and I want to make sure that people are able to take care of those. But this is also about flowers. And I want to make sure that people understand your path. So before More Than a Title, before the podcast, before the following, any of it, you were someone who climbed the corporate ladder, delivering real results. You did everything right. And what was the moment you realized building something for someone else wasn't the same as building for yourself? Because we're talking about like making the money. You were helping other people achieve their dreams. Absolutely. When did you start to get to the point? I know when I've seen you do it, before and now, but I want to ask the question so other people can hear your answer.
So I'm going to give you the quick 2-3 minute spiel, bro. So after I left that company we was working with, I worked at Cannes. So I thought it was the film festival, right? I got a literally cold call and I'm doing the top 8 quarters, you know what I'm saying, doing 250 a quarter. They called me up. They said, hey, we want to send you to France. We want to send you all these places. We want you to run our business development team. We respect it. Went there. after I left there, bro, because I went through a tumultuous time in my personal life. It was like good girl, bad time.
Mm.
It was like one
I
of
know
those
about that.
situations. Good
I
girl,
know
bad
about
time. It
that.
was the perfect situation for me. But everything in my personal life was crashing. And so I wasn't the person I was, I wasn't to my full potential there. Long story short, I ended up leaving there and I'm like, yo, look, I want to get a line. I'm creative. Became a VP of business development for an agency. After
Mhm.
that, bro, I ended up closing a big deal and then they try to stiff me on my commission. So I quit on the spot. I got an office overlooking right next to the Empire State Building. I'm 25 years old, bro. And she stiffed me on my commission. My gut told me to quit. So I quit that. And if you guys don't know, in New York State, you quit, you don't get unemployment. You won't get any unemployment. You betting on yourself. So what I was betting on is that I was a VP. I'm young. I'm black. I got experience. Somebody would say he's a VP. I'm gonna put him in a role, bro. I didn't get another job for 8 months, and I had to start back at an account executive. Executive. So I bounced around to several SaaS platforms. I was at then I went to another place, then I did good there, then they merged and there's new leadership. And I was going through all of that stuff, bro. But when things change is when I went to iPull Rank. So I'm at a small agency,
Okay.
I'm just leaving Talkwalker, and I'm at a small black-owned agency, and I had a real conversation. One of the CRO at the time was somebody I previously worked at. He was my sales manager. He just
Okay.
said out of nowhere, he said, yo, he caught the bad end. He was like, if I ever have an opportunity for you, I got you, Jay. And he just happened to call me while I was in between jobs. He said, yo, I'm with this
Mm.
guy. His name is Michael King. Yo, you would love him. Yeah, both right. Like, I just know y'all gonna hit it off. Made the introduction. We hit it off exactly. They end up hiring me. The real question I asked at first, I was like, look, we're 10 people in here. How the hell we're working with these big national corporations, these Fortune 500s? I don't know us. How do they know us? He said, Jarrett, straight up, I do podcasts, I do webinars,
Mm.
I do short form content. I got 50,000 followers on Twitter. Soon as I heard that, Sean, boom, I said, hold up.
Nice.
So you mean to tell me you're just putting yourself out there and all of these leads enough for you to be able to pay me my salary that I'm commanding and 10 other people and this rent office? Give me 90 days. I'm going to figure it out. You stay on Twitter. I'm going to go on LinkedIn. I got 200 followers. But guess what? I'm going to figure it out. Instead of me making 100 cold calls a day or 200 emails a day, I'm going to put myself out there and talk about our services, but I'm going to add my own flair to it. He
Nice.
said, cool. And my boss at the time, he could have told me, shut the hell up. The one who was my old boss,
Mm.
I told him the vision. He said, you know what, Jay? Let's run with it. You believe in that strongly? Let's run with it. He could have told me, shut the hell up, hit your quota. But I knew I had 1/4. I knew I had 1/4, bro. On day 88, 89, I end up getting a deal for $450,000 at this company that seen me on LinkedIn, that happened to know my sales manager, and the fact that they
Okay.
saw me out there, they reached out. He actually knew the leadership team, and so it was just like boom. We all like family, and we all know each other, and we ended up closing a deal, bro. $450,000 paid in cash
Ooh.
up front, all paid
See,
up front,
that's the part I didn't know about. The
paid up front,
cash.
all cash, a week before the pandemic.
Mm.
Kept us afloat, bro.
Timing couldn't be any better.
Couldn't have been any better, bro. And literally after that, my pipeline disintegrated. And I'm like, cool, I had $800,000 in the pipeline. What am I going to do? So I created the podcast and I'm like, look, I can't just talk about business. There's real shit going on. You got your kids working at home. Your shape up ain't right. Your wife is wilding out in the background. It's mad shit
Mm-hmm.
going on. Let's talk
Mm-hmm.
about that. Cause like we're humans, man. We're humans, and that's kind of where the more than a title kind of developed from. But we ended up having the CEO of Revolt, the CEO of Rap Snacks, CEO of 16 Handles. We had so many people, bro. I did like 70, 80 episodes there. And then by the end of that, I got burnt out.
Okay.
And I was like, yo, look, same thing. I was like, I just got to quit. I'm doing legal. I'm doing pitches, presentations. I'm doing my sales. I'm doing a podcast. I'm helping with editing. And I'm posting it on my channels. The salary just went up. And it didn't at all. It actually went down
Mm.
because of what we were dealing with. And I said, you know what? Bet on myself. I put my face on Steph Curry's body. I went to Fiverr. I paid $10 for a designer. He put my face on Steph Curry's body. And he said, breaking news, Jarrett's a free agent. He averages like 20 points
Nice.
a game, 10 rebounds,
Nice.
7 assists. Sources telling me he's in a gym. And yo, he's ready for looking to join a championship contender. Bro, I got hit up
Love
from
it.
Google, Amazon, LinkedIn, Microsoft. Everybody hit me up, was like, yo, that was the most creative shit I've seen. And it was $10. And I decided to go to Hootsuite because all the other companies wasn't with my personal brand and they didn't know what it was like. I gotta watch your LinkedIn and, we gotta
Mm-hmm.
run it through
Mm-hmm.
corporate and PR and the comms team. And I'm like, nope, because you're gonna muffle, you're gonna stifle me. So Hootsuite said, I want you for you. I did everything. That's the first job I went to, bro, where I was like a rock star from day one. As soon as I got into the organization, I got 100 fucking coffee chats in the Slack. Hey man, I saw your shit. I see
Nice.
your shit all the time, man. I'm so happy you
Mm-hmm.
here. Yo, can we talk tomorrow? Can we call tomorrow? Can we talk tomorrow? Can we talk tomorrow? And it was cool. And then I'm an account manager. So all of the brands I'm managing are wanting the same shit I'm doing on LinkedIn. So not only can I give them strategy, I could actually show you with my analytics in real time. And then, bro, I did 1.6 million in 6 months. They
Mm.
wanted me to move my family down to Atlanta. Long story short, I ended up catching the short end of the stick. Some told me not to move down to Atlanta. My gut told me, didn't move, and they fired about 30% of the staff 3 months later. And I'd have been included. So I'd have been in Atlanta with no revenue, no family, stuck out there, and did everything for the organization. And in that moment, when I knew I did everything right from a corporate perspective, I knew the CEO, I knew the CMO, I built the right relationships, I'm giving myself for people. And the work is so easy. I could do this shit in my sleep. I turned an 8 hour day into 3 hours so I can give myself to more people.
Mm-hmm.
And none of it was thought of. And in that moment, bro, I said, I'm done. I'm done because it's never going to be enough. It's never going to be enough. I'm never going to get the just due. I'm never going to get my full value when I'm at somebody else because somebody else is determining my value instead of me going out and getting it. And if I can go out and get $1 million for you in 6 months, what can I be able to do by myself? And that's when I made the bet, bro. End up getting fired, created the LLC. Within our first day of creating the LLC, we had our first client, bro. It was crazy. And a
Beautiful.
lot of the clients from that place end up reaching out and saying, yo, where you at now? Yeah, I'm by myself. Hey, yo, can you do a social media audit for me? Can you do this? Can you teach my sales team? Can you come in the office? Can you help me with our content strategy? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how it
Yeah.
happened, bro. And it was just like that. And then I just created more than a title IP. And basically what I wanted to use it is the same way I used it for the agency. I wanted more than a title to be a lead gen for my business, but also bigger than a lead gen. I wanted to be a relationship connect. It's like me, I'm at a conference every year, every day, and I get to choose who comes to this conference. And we're doing speed day and I do it 2 times a week. How many
Mm.
people are meeting 100 people a year?
Yeah. Yeah.
And are in your phone that I pick up when you call because you made them feel something. You gave them an experience. You highlighted them. You championed them. And it's not some fluff shit because I want the money. It's because I know who you are. And people from where I'm from, they don't know who you are. They need to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how it was all born, bro.
That's why I love the story. That's why I love what it is that you're doing. One of the things where the respect kicks in is I'm basically doing the podcast like once every 2 weeks. That's just because my personality is like, I can't pour from an empty cup. So, like, if I don't have it, I don't have it. And I don't want to put the pressure on myself to be on all the time. That's where sales versus account management kicks in. Account manager, I might talk. There's some people that I could talk to once a month. There's some people I might talk to once a quarter. But if you ask them, their thing is, you know what? That's the best person for me
That's
because he understands that like I got to worry about all these other things. I never have to worry about him. Your ability to do 2 podcasts a week is insane to me, but it makes total sense knowing what I know about you and knowing that you have a vision and your vision was this is how I'm going to do what I want to be able to do. And one of the things that I think and I believe in, correct me if I'm wrong, is once you get that realization of I've been running around helping other people accomplish their dreams and their calling, and no matter how much I do, I'm never going to be on that level. I'm never really going to be brought in. I've been brought into rooms, but like I feel like I'm sitting at the wrong table. And even if I'm sitting at the right table, I don't get to weigh in the way that I feel like I should be able to weigh in, considering the contribution that I'm making. So
absolutely.
once you have that, like I believe that's the thing that drives you in your ability to be able to do 2 podcasts a week and all the rest of it. Once you understand what the cost is
It's a
and
wrap.
you see what the return could be, the cost never seems as much as it's like as it would be for somebody else that can do it, because now you know what it looks like to be on the other side of it.
Absolutely. But I know when I'm invited to those rooms, it's based on the leverage, right? It's based on how I'm invited to that room, why I'm invited to that room. So I'll give you an example, bro. I was at Black Week, so there's a dope conference. So anybody's listening, shout out to Black Week, shout out to all the founders. We
Okay.
went there last year. We was their first podcast partner, but we went there last year just to attend because I'm working at the other spot. Couldn't do it. I go down there, bro. Every executive in that building knew us.
Hmm.
Every executive. I could look in a room of 100 people and see 30 guests. So imagine that feeling. So now we're on the roof, bro. It's lunchtime. Don Lemon from CNN is right there next to us. He has people looking to get autographs. He has like 10 people. Bro, you look to ours. We got 10, 15 people talking to us because they're all guests. He had to come to us and say, yo, who are you guys?
What's going on? Yeah.
What's going on over
Yeah.
here? What are you doing? Well, how do I don't know you guys? And now we're building a relationship, but that was all based off what I built, of what we built. That's 2 days a week. I want relationships. You know what? Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, even if worst case scenario, I get a great story and I get to meet somebody who can be my friend and who knows what happens down the line. That's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is I see you somewhere. We could actually, something makes sense. You could hire me for your business, all that stuff. And then once you know, we know each other's story, we want to see each other win. And I just had by the grace of God, to have people on that want to see me win.
Mm-hmm.
Have that experience. Out of 100 podcasts, you know, it might be that one. And be like, oh, I remember Jarrett. He was bugging. I remember the messages. I remember you know what I mean? That's
Memorable.
It's memorable. And that's why you're doing sales calls and that's how you're doing anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only thing that's taking us, bro. That's why I do too. So my thing is, there's people out there with bigger names than me, bigger cachet, bigger visibility, right? So how do I compete with that? I compete with that by having better relationships.
Yes.
That's the only way I can level the playing field.
Yes. Well, you've answered some questions that I was going to ask you. So I'm going to bring around to the depth, because this was something that I wanted to be able to point out, because it's a bar, but it's also the thing that sums up you, your podcast, and everything that you're doing. And it's a perfect segue into it because you kind of just covered it. I know one of the things that I've heard you say is, once somebody becomes a guest, they're part of the family. And my thing with that was, when you did it, was that intentional, or was it something that just kind of happened in real time? Because a lot of what you do is based on instinct. Like, you said it and you didn't say it like it was something that you thought of and was like, oh, that's clever, I'm going to say it. You said it because you meant it.
Meant it.
Okay.
If I just like how you do, bro. So you've probably brought on 3 to 4 guests on the show, bro. And vice versa. If I see somebody that makes sense and I'm like, yo, Sean's personality, this one personality, why would I be a gatekeeper on that? And if you guys connect and make something special happen, shit, that's a win-win for all of us. Well, why wouldn't I do it? It's only a text away. It's only a call away. And I'm the type of person, I never ask anyway. But if I'm going to hit you up, Sean, just like I know you reached me out to reach out and bring somebody, I know it ain't no BS. I know it's serious. I know it's like, yo, anybody who's a friend of Sean is a friend of mine, man. They're good people. Yo, you'll have you on next week. No problem. No problem. We ain't got to think twice about it. We ain't got to do a prep call. We ain't got to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? We just jump on. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm about, bro. So like, it was that. And so now the next evolution of it is now the live events. How do I get you guys in person together? How do I create that? Where the owner of the Nationals is talking to Sean. Oh, how Matthew Knowles is talking to this one. My mama was on the show. My mama talking to this one. You know what I'm saying? How all of us can win and have a collective conversation because we have one thing in common. That's we're all more than the title.
Yes. Yes.
Regardless what you are. It don't matter if you're the former CMO, you're this, you're Beyonce, that. You're still a man. You're still a woman. You're still a person. If I don't care what your title, if you're an asshole, you're an asshole. I wouldn't have you on.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Because now it's not just the title. It's like everything that you're saying is so genuinely you, but it's so marketable at the same time.
Sorry.
Like when I'm listening to things, I'm like, ooh, that's marketable. Ooh, like sometimes when I say marketable, there's slogans and there's things that like you can put out there and people remember you because they remember it. It's like somebody getting a song in their head that they haven't heard in years, but somebody walks by whistling and all of a sudden it kind of brings it back. Like there's so many different things where like, if you can figure out a way to be able to have a moment and be memorable, and that's why I think there's confusion when some people say all press is good press. Not really. because I don't want to be remembered for a moment that brings you someplace where you don't want to go.
That's
But if I can create a moment where, like you said, sometimes you can get on the phone and just say something that's tell a joke. I was having a bad day, and this guy got on the phone and told a joke. They'll remember the bad day, but they'll remember you were a good part of that bad day.
that's it. That's it.
So, I literally had somebody on Threads say to me today, like, you know what, you're a genuinely good person. Like, life, there's a world, you're in a world where it doesn't necessarily deserve you, but like, keep doing what you're doing. That's my response to that was, I genuinely appreciate that. One, and two, I got my you got it right for the day. So I have a thing where it's like, I need to be able to make sure that I got it right for the day. And whenever I get that, then I'm like, okay, then I did what I was supposed to do.
That's
And
it.
as long as I'm able to continue doing that, then I can continue going down the road and know that I'm on the right path. So
That's it.
I'm very big into pathway recognition, pattern recognition. My background is my background. Um, one of the reasons I wanted to be able to have you come on and really talk about it, and I'll bring it back around to more the professional side of things, but I do believe the professional experience, our personal decisions and our personal lives affect our professional and vice versa. But like, I'm very much an account manager, a program manager. What I love is that you have a different approach. You have sales, you trust your instincts. There's reasons why you did it the way that you did it. Like, you built yours with the podcast and everything first. You heard something, it registered. You said, you know what? So you got what you said was like 10 people, a 10 people crew,
Yeah,
and it would get, you heard it and you were like, so that's the game. Okay.
that's the game. That's how I
I like what you
figure
did.
I figure business, and you're doing it by media. You're using it by being yourself. Doesn't matter. And then I'm looking at some of the calls. You don't even have particularly be in the calls. It's your expertise that they trust that you develop your team in a way that you can handle it. And it was because of that. So it was like, damn, I've been a VP at Can. I've been at this. I've been at that. Da da da. I've got experience. Why am I not? Why am I hoarding it? Why am I not telling people? And then you look further as I started looking at LinkedIn. I would look at LinkedIn, bro, and this is some game for the audience. When I started, and it's increased by then, it's 750 million users on LinkedIn. Out of those 750 million users, only 2% when I started were posting every single day. So you mean to tell me this is the largest business highway in the world, and I could put a billboard on that thing every single day for free and get views and get business? And all I got to do is not care about who I used to work with, what future opportunities and what's this. No. So I'm going to put myself out there every single day, bro. And that's all I did. 9 o'clock in the morning, you knew a video was coming like clockwork before I start my day. I had a partner. We would have a topic, all that shit. That's it. I need you to like me. And if you like me, I had a saying, teach them how to fish and they'll learn you sell fishing poles.
Yes.
Teach them how to fish. Show them
Yes.
that you're fishing. Show them that you caught the fucking whale. Show them that you got a
Yeah.
straight bass today. Show them all of that.
Yeah.
And guess what? When they fish
Yeah.
and they need some utensils, they're going to call you. Because why? They see you every single day. They trust you. And that's all I did. And weave in
Absolutely.
some personal stories. Let you know more about myself, right? How I got into sales. Oh, yes, my son's graduation day. Yeah, I'm a cup out. I don't have to show you that, but that's who I am. See if you like it or you don't. I'm going to wear a hat and a hoodie. That's what's comfortable. I'm in the house. I'm chilling. Like, what do you want me to do? You want me to be? That's not me. But I got to appeal to the young me. Because then when I was coming up, there was nobody that I thought was like me
Yes.
in the industry. There was nobody that was like,
Yes.
yo, it'd be a hat and hoodie on. Da, da, da. So that's why I have so many black executives on now. It's because, damn, we need to see you. How would I know? How the hell would I know? How could I know what can I aspire to be? How could I know what are the top levels of corporate America? How could I know? Even more so as a 38-year-old man, I know exactly what it took to get there. So I appreciate you even more. You went through the ringer. The
Yeah.
ringer.
Yeah.
You mean nobody's celebrating you? Come here. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. We're going to
I mean,
celebrate you.
honestly, that's all some people need.
That's it.
Just that little bit of acknowledgement lets them know, you know what, I'm on a path that I'm supposed to be on, and I'm gonna stay on it because now I know there's someone else out there that saw it, appreciated it, and wanted to celebrate it.
Come on. That's it.
Sometimes that's all you need.
That's it.
I bring this up because, like I said, your approach is one that it's a proven concept.
Yes, sir.
Um, you built the audience and then you built the business. My approach was different because my experiences were different. So I built the business and then went to get the audience. And I wanted to be able to bring you on so that we can talk about the fact that like so much of what I do, and this is where I think experience starts to kick in. Uh, for me, my business model is built around it depends. Like I don't know how to do something one way. I'm a dimensional thinker. So when somebody says something to me, I hear it 100 different ways. And then I start to narrow down which one is the one that makes the most sense for that person in that situation and all the rest of that. So I'm weird in a way that I think and I put everything together, but that made it easier for me to build out the system. And I built an ecosystem that accommodates me so that I can accommodate everybody else. What you did was you said, I'm going to get the audience and then I'm going to build the business around being able to fix it. So one of the things I want people to understand is that we both had ways that we could do it. And there are tactics out there where everybody's telling you how to do something. Oh, all you have to do is get on LinkedIn. All you have to do is this. All you have to that. I get bummed out as soon as I hear all you have to do is
Yeah.
because you're oversimplifying something that is complicated, it's hard, and you're going to have to get it out of the mud. But I will say that there are ways to be able to do it. Build something that's built around you. And as if you're genuine, and you'll confirm this for me. I'm going to say it for you that you'll confirm it for me because I feel like we're both in that same place.
Yeah.
Nothing sells better than a story.
Come on. Nothing.
You can have the best product and service in the world, but if you don't have a story that can be told, people are buying stories.
That's it.
People are buying stories. Like they don't have to know you in order to be able to buy something from you. They're really buying the story. Like if like I'll go with the luxury brands. I got my start in the music industry and then I went over to luxury brands. So I went from the music industry to after a point getting into Condé Nast. I worked for Vanity Fair. I worked for GQ. I did some work with Vogue magazine. So I got to see entertainment and I got to see fashion. So I got to see what it looked like when people sold stories. So 6, 7 years old, I was getting introduced to personas. So by the time I got up to Condé Nast, I was like, oh, I know how they sell people. I damn sure know how to sell a product.
Come on.
Products don't talk.
Come on.
People talk. And if I know how to be able to say, well, what they meant was, and still allow them to be able to get the sales they need and still move units, then I know I can turn around and do that part.
That's it.
What I learned in that and what I learned from being on that side in the music industry was I learned the game and the board. And I said, let me see if I can apply that to different industries.
Yeah.
And I'm saying all this to say, like, if you look at Louis Vuitton, you look at any of these brands, most of what they're selling is on the bag. It's not what's in the bag, it's what's on the bag. So in those situations, what you're looking at is you're looking at something where somebody is saying, ooh, that person had a Louis Vuitton bag, or they had a Fendi bag, or they had this bag, or they had that bag. In those situations, what you're looking at is someone buying the story and the perception of what that bag is, what that brand is. It's not, well, you got this for this reason. It's the story that you're putting around it. The story is, well, I went into this store and I had to wait online and I had to do this and I had to do that. People buy the story. So people are buying a story that is memorable. People are buying a product, they're buying a service, but they're also buying it so that they can have a story to be able to tell. Somebody may see you wearing something and they're saying, oh, that's nice. Where'd you get it from? They're asking you for the story. They didn't ask you, you know what I mean? Like they're asked, it's baked into anything that you purchase. It's baked. There's a story baked into it. So whenever you're buying something, whenever you're thinking about making a purchase, there's a story. And once you understand that part, to me, that's the game.
That is the game. Any media, newspapers, movies, and it doesn't matter. A good song, anything is going to be the story. So why not? And what's more important than your story? I had a young lady call me the other day, and she was like, yo, I want to help my personal brand. And she told me one incredible stories I've ever heard. Single mother, she's this, that. She just overcame a stroke. She looks great. She recovered. She has multiple businesses. I'm like, Queen, what are you...
Tell your story.
That's it. There's no magic bullet to this. You tell your story. The first time I went on, so I was doing a bunch of SEO business content at first, and it would land. It may not land. It'll land, and it might not land. And then one day I get to the office, and somebody reminded me of how I got into sales. And I said, you know what? I just typed up something super quick. 3 minutes. At typos, all types of shit. And I just put it up, bro. Within 5 minutes, literally, I'm at work. All you get is ding, 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 ding. It sounded like a casino in there. Like a casino in there. I said, what is going on? I look at it, bro. I've got hundreds of likes, hundreds of thousands of views. And I'm like, Why? Because you know what? And I got reach outs from people in Chicago, Atlanta, Los Angeles, Germany, France, England. They're like, yo, I have a similar style. That's how I got into sales, man. It's similar to thank you for inspiring me. Thank you for doing this. And guess what? Some of those people were decision makers. And now I connected with you in a way that is like, I know that guy. That guy is me. And
Yes.
sometimes that's all you need to break down the barrier for you to do business or build a real, genuine relationship. That's how you break down
Yeah.
the stranger danger.
Yeah. Yeah.
The same thing.
Yeah.
So everybody out there, tell your story. Sometimes the reason why people don't tell their story, especially on LinkedIn, is what is my boss going to think? What is your future employers going to think? What do my current team think? They think I'm some content creator when I'm really this and da da da. No. Your story is unique. And at certain levels, especially when you get to C-suite, everybody has the best degrees. Everybody has the best relationships. Everybody has that. But what is going to be that little degree of separation that you get? And that's going to be you.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
it is. So everybody has to do that, man. And so for me, bro, I just literally trusted my gut and just felt like I'm not in the media business. I'm in a relationship business.
Yes.
I'm in a relationship business. So if I can speak to 2 people a week, 3 people a week, and I can make you feel some sort of way, normally something good is going to come out of it. And even worst case scenario, I still have content to show and highlight somebody else. It ain't about me. It's about us.
Mm-hmm.
It's about us, man. And so I literally based my whole business on it. I didn't have a system. I didn't have a structure. But I'm the type of person that's, okay, cool. I see that obstacle. Now I got to move it. So now I got to figure out what system I can put in place to make sure this boulder never comes in here again and messes with me like it
Yes.
just did. And that's it.
Yes.
So you can do it either or, but they're both challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to just pick your, that's what my mama do. You got to pick your hard. You got to pick your difficult. Right?
Yes. Yes.
You got to pick,
Yes.
that's the same shit. You got to pick your hard.
Yes.
You want to be this, you want to be that. They're all hard.
Yeah.
You got to do something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I again, I love it. This is why I said for me, it depends. Like when someone says, well, I want to do this, I'm like, there are so many different pathways to a destination. What you have to identify is the pathway that best aligns with you, your surrounding
Yep,
circumstances, and all the things that factor into what are you going to be able to do when you're not motivated? Because motivation comes and goes.
absolutely.
I pick something where I'm like, I even on the bad days, I still love what I do.
That's it.
So there's no day where it's like, even when I don't feel like doing it, on my off days, I'm still good at it. I prefer to be great at it, flawless at it.
Messy.
But on the days where I don't have it, I'm still good at it. And I'm talking to somebody that's bad at it. When they get what's good, they're like, "Oh, this is great. This is the best thing." And I'm like, I mean, I want people to understand, don't just chase tactics where someone says, "Well, here's how I did it." That's great that they know how to do it. That is great that they were able to do it their way. Their way doesn't necessarily align with your surrounding circumstances. I joke with fellas and I'm like, listen, women don't downgrade. So if you got a shorty and she's got a certain level of expectations, you need to build a business model around her expectations.
That's a fact.
Because there's not a lot of women that's going to sit with you through a struggle. If you got used to a certain way of living and then you start saying, I'm going to go out and be an entrepreneur and you got to get it out of the mud, your mud needs to be able to include the basic things that she got used to having. Because if you don't, there's a shelf life to how long you're going to get a certain level of grace.
That's so real, bro. I'm fortunate. I done been through some good moments. We making 20, 30 a month. And then I had some drain. We feel like revenue just leaving this month.
Bruh,
And
bruh.
it's what it is. I'm grateful and fortunate to have a woman that actually sees it. But I have to be who I say I am in order for her to stay.
Yes. Yes.
I have to be
Yes. So
exactly who I
I
say.
want people to understand that like we're talking about the two different ways that we've gone about doing things.
Absolutely.
But if you had a conversation with either one of us, we could tell you how to be able to do it your way. And I
That's
want people to understand, stop chasing what somebody else did and start looking at how you could take pieces of what they did and turn it into your way. Because when you do it your way, you're genuine about it. And when somebody pulls at the thread to say, well, why did you do it that way? You actually have an answer. And the
absolutely.
answer is bringing it back around to it's your story. So that's why stories matter, because people do things for all kind of reasons. I told people there are 3 reasons people normally start a business. They had a bad experience that they want people to avoid. They had a great experience they want people to enjoy. And in some cases, people just had, they saw secondhand, third-hand knowledge of somebody going through something. And they said, well, I would never go through that because I would never do this or I never do that. That's the solution. Figuring out how to be able to tell somebody, look at what that looks like. Here's why you never want to do that. You don't necessarily have to touch a hot stove to know it's a hot stove. You see
That's right.
somebody burn their hand, it's like, ooh, I don't want to do that.
Definitely don't want to do that. Yeah.
So different people learn for different reasons, but if you can package it right, that's the story. And then there's the fourth one where some people like, I saw an opportunity to make money. And I had the answers, even if I never went through it myself. But
Yeah.
if you can tell that story in a way where it's like, there are going to be people that their motivation is money. That's your audience. There are people that like, I don't want to go through the experience. I just want to make the money because I know how to be able to solve the problem.
That's a fact.
Talk to those people and tell your story, genuine story to those people, and those people will buy from you because their thing is, yeah, I mean,
They get it.
I don't want to have that experience either, but I do see there's money to be made over there.
Absolutely.
So I think there's so many ways to be able to do something. I wanted to have you come on because I know I can talk about it from the systems, foundation, best practices, frameworks, all the rest of the things where it's like, you said you based it on instincts. My instincts were learn the system, learn the process. So then this way, that is my instincts. So it is instincts, but it's instincts because I've watched so many different iterations of it that it's not really instincts, if I'm being honest. It's me having examples that I can pull from.
Absolutely.
You are pulling from not, I won't say thin air, you're pulling from your experiences, but your experiences are allowing you to make instinct decisions.
Absolutely.
That's how you ended up at the restaurant with Jadakiss. And the moment you saw it, you realized there was an actual opportunity. That's how you are able to have 2 guests on a week. And these aren't just random people. These are people that people actually want to hear from, learn from, and they have stories. And you're helping to put their stories out, but you're helping other people realize that their stories matter.
Absolutely. But that Jadakiss only happens why? Because I gave myself for the kids earlier. Now I could have went to a beach and been on vacation and been like, yeah, I'm gonna do me and da da da. But I chose to spend my birthday with 100 kids from Newark, New Jersey.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That look like me. And we got I kid you not, we got 5, 6 entrepreneurs on the panel. I'm moderating the panel and they asking me questions because you know why? I came in there looking like them.
Yeah.
I came in there looking like them, hat, hoodie on, chilling, some Jordans on. They like, oh, yo, mister, you do that? Mister, you talk to them? Mister, how'd you do that? Mister, can we take a picture, mister? Of course we can. And that was for the free. That was for, I just want to do that. I want to be fulfilled. So I always do things for the right reason and it always comes back. So I don't look at it for money. I don't. Because I know that's going to come. Once you start chasing the money, the shit start running away. You know how it goes. It starts running away. It starts doing the Michael Johnson on your ass.
Yes.
I don't want to do that. I'd rather somebody want to work with me because they know who I am. They know my value, right? And sometimes, and what I've realized in these relationships, every seed sprouts differently. Every seed sprouts differently. Some people are going to love you so much and be like, yo, I'm going to make something today. Some people may take a little longer. Some people want to see if you're serious. Some people want to see if you are who you say you are. And the people I'm speaking to that are these C-suite executives, been 20, 30 years, they got a lot of skin in the game and they got some shit to lose. And so they're not going to just jump out on a limb with you.
That part right there.
And it's you understanding that. So the ask I'm going to make is not going to be some far-fetched ask. Anything I do is going to be providing value. So when I do make an ask, it's like, yo, Jarrett, what do you need? What do you need? You need me to come over? Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, I'll come over here. But before then, I had 10 touch points with you. I did nothing but give. Give. And can it be taxing? Can it be tiring? But I love what I do, bro. I love seeing somebody win. I love seeing us win. I love having a great conversation. I love learning. I'm getting a Harvard degree in business 2 times a week. People that have been through real life experiences every single week. And there's one underlining thing that they all have in common. They all bet on themselves. They all went against the grain. They all went through some sort of failure. They all had to, pick themselves up, dust their shit off, show that they're them. They all got fired. They all had to have it, right? And something that Paxton told me, he's the owner of Nationals. He said every story has to have the villain.
Yes.
Have to have the villain. The villain is poverty. The villain is the bad job. The villain is this, that, right? And we're all going through, we all have a villain we're fighting. We all have them. And I just don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I'm just going to keep on pushing. I'm going to keep on pushing. I'm going to stay positive. There's days I don't want to pod. When that red light goes on, bro, it's game time. And I'm back to who I am.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, bro. So I just want everybody to understand, like, this isn't easy. It isn't. There's a lot of bad conversations I had. There's a lot of great ones. Some interviews took me 30 times to get somebody on the show. And then I had to realize how to monetize afterwards.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Yeah.
That's something I had to learn. I got not one, I got 2 Matthew Knowles interviews. And I'm like,
yeah.
what do you, And now I gotta find a sponsor. Now I gotta find this. Now I gotta find that. Now I gotta edit it. It's a lot of work. But once again, like you said earlier, bro, you have to love it. And I love it. I'll wake up podcasting. I wake up dreaming of different ways that I could, you know, just not the monetization. How can I change the game to make sure that we have a voice? How can I be the new BET, the new
Yeah.
Shade Room, the new CNN for our culture? And that's my goal, bro. And regardless of what it looks like, I'm gonna figure it out. And so I want people to have
Beautiful.
that same passion, that same drive. You're gonna get rocked a couple of times. You're gonna have your bad days. But guess what? I keep going because I know it's gonna work. I know it's, and you have that be obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with the
Beautiful.
success of it.
Beautiful.
That's how it's got to be, y'all. And I hope y'all understand from me. I'm a dude from the Bronx, sitting Indian style with a hat and a hoodie on a couch.
Bro. Bro.
That's real.
One of the things that I really wanted to make sure that we were able to cover, and we have, but I wanna round it off because we're talking about stories and we're talking about, sometimes people need to see something in order to be able to know it's possible.
That's it.
And all you really, like we talked about it, like I said, I don't have time to be a hater and mad somebody got something. I'm thankful that somebody has it because now you showed me that it's possible. Because my mind works in a way where it's like, well, if you did it, then who's to say that I can't do it? If I want it enough, if I put enough work into it, then I can get my own version of it. I don't want what you have. I want my version of it because my version of it is meant for me. So that's why I have issues with strategies and tactics and things like that, because somebody will say, well, here's how I did it. And my thing is, I don't have those conversations with people. My conversation is, well, how do you want to do it? What's your end goal? Because if you tell me what your end goal is, I'm not trying to build something start to finish. I'm building it finish to start. I want to know where you're trying to go. And then we're going to say, okay, well, here's all the things that happen on that path. If you're saying you want to do it this way. Yeah, no, I couldn't do that part. Well, that's not the path for you then. Let's figure out what the next path looks like so that we can get further and further down that road and get you to where that destination is. So much of the advice and things that are given are based on perfect scenarios. Why I say it depends is because I'm basing it on things are not going to go perfect. And I think that's where like getting it out of the mud is drastically different. And this is where it's like, it's a little bourgeois to be able to say, but it's, I believe it. When you said like everybody needs a villain, there's so many different ways to put it, but like when you've hit rock bottom, when you've gone through something, success comes from having to go never again.
That's it.
That never again, anytime you talk to someone that's truly successful, in their story, there's a never again moment. Like you can have a lot of success. I know a lot of people that won, and I can't really have a conversation with them because they haven't failed yet. And because they don't know what failure feels like, it's almost like it's dumb luck because anybody can be successful. A broken clock could be right twice. Yeah. But like in order to really be able to be successful, you have to know how to be able to fail, get back up, and know now I have a frame of reference of what it's like to fail.
Yeah.
Because anytime something doesn't go the way it's supposed to, then it's like, okay, well, if I beat that before, I can beat it again. The moment you have that as a battery that you can put in your back, there are no bad days anymore. Because now you got a frame of reference of, well, I mean, it's not the same thing, but I can pull things from it that were similar enough that like, if I overcame that, then I can overcome this.
That's a fact, bro. And I think that, especially with us in our community, is that not being afraid to fail. Failing is a great thing. I want to get to it quick.
Yeah.
I want to get to it immediately so I can get the lesson. Give me the lesson. Hell yeah, show me. Show me.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to fail because it's never the talent in our community. It's always the process where we get stuck. We think I got to be Sean's way. It's got to be Jarrett's way. It's got to be this way. It's got to be that way. You just go on the path. And if you're doing the right things and you're putting in the work, I promise you, I know Sean, you'll agree with me, bro. You're going to see doors and windows open up that you never thought. Because you're doing the actual thing. Yes. You are putting in the work. And then what you realize is there's people watching you that you don't even realize, right?
Yes.
It's somebody that's watching you that's having a bad day that's like, oh my God, you're inspired. They won't even like your shit. Won't even tell you until they see you. And it's going to be that right moment where they're going to tell you, or they're going to offer you business, or they're going to give you an opportunity. And that's what it's going to be. So you got to be obsessive with the work, excessive with the why, not if I fail. Because if I do fail, It is what it is. I'm not afraid of it. It's been times, bro, I've been around millionaires and billionaires. I've had $10 in my pocket to my name. And I'm smiling. I can light up the whole entire fucking room because I'm doing it from here. And I'm not asking you for your dollar. You earned that shit. Well, my time is going to come, but I appreciate just being in the room to see how it works. And to knowing I could work the room in any environment. And if I could work that room with $10 in my pocket, what the fuck I'm going to do with 10 million?
That's the beauty of it. I want to segue that, and because I still want to cover some of the business things.
Yeah.
That covers, like, there's always a way to be able to do it. Look for examples. Look for somebody. It doesn't have to be exact. Just look for someone that can show you that it's possible. Because once you can find out it's possible, now you have something that you can research. Now you can have something that you can start saying, okay, well, this is how they did it. How would I do it? And once you start asking those questions, then it gets you to the point where this is where I love where you were talking about, like, when you have a conversation with somebody, you're giving, 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 giving. There's a lot of ways to be able to earn somebody's time that's been down a road or has this information. I call it readiness.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I look at is I have a lot of conversations with people that are at stages and have high dreams and a lot of things that they want to be able to cover. But it comes down to, are you actually ready to do something? Like, if I gave you the information, if I gave you the opportunity, are you ready to do something
What'd
with
you
it?
do with it? Yeah. That's key.
And that's the unfortunate part, because there are a lot of people that want to be in these situations and they rush it.
Yeah.
And then they realize that, like, that person gave it to them, and then they burnt through that opportunity. They burnt that bridge. I don't want to cross that bridge. I'm going to stand on this side of the bridge
Exactly.
until I know that I'm ready to do something with it, because once I get on the bridge, I need to make sure that I can get to the other side.
Yeah. And that's
So
key.
both of us are doing it in our own way. You're helping people get their story out. You're helping people find their story, because they may think their story, it doesn't matter. Sometimes this is why I say personal and professional overlap, because you can have a great idea but have bad people around you, and because they have their perception of you, they don't allow you to have reach the people that would have a different perception, that could say that's a good idea, that would be great. They just see you as a person that's like, I mean, you're never going to be anything. And people are being held back by people that don't want things for them, or don't want them to do better than them, or whatever their reason is, whatever their agenda, whatever their motivation. It's important to be able to have people that can put you, that can introduce you to other audiences, people that believe in you, people that, like, surround yourself with people that believe in you, and you'll be able to accomplish anything in life.
That's so true, bro. And like you said, the I'm possible, the impossible is just I'm possible. And I had
Yes.
to see it. So the worst
Yes.
person I saw, bro, was the VP of social at BET. So I met a
Mm,
company right before I got to the place I pulled rank where I was doing the podcast. I met a
okay.
conference, social media week or something like that. I see a black man on stage and he's asking these questions. I saw myself, bro. He's interviewing a big creator, Lala Milan. Lala Milan. Everybody runs to Lala because she got millions of followers or something. He just walks off the stage and nobody even entertains him. And I'm like, yo, bro, big bro, can I holler at you? Can I talk to you? He's going to another panel. I'm like, yo, I would love to learn from you. I want to do what you do. I want to be, why am I not on stage? I want to be on stage. I'm on social media. I work for a social media company. I know what I'm talking about. He said, Joe, just take my LinkedIn. We'll talk. 6 months.
Nice.
6 months it took. I was hitting him up, no answer. I hit him with an automated happy birthday. It came up on LinkedIn. It's so-and-so's birthday. Hit him with a happy birthday. He said, yo, my executive assistant is emailing you. And
Nice.
from there, as the VP of BET, I went home, told mama, I was telling my girl, the VP of BET
Right.
wants to be my friend. We're going to talk and da-da-da. And we became friends. And those one day, those one Friday a month became two. Then it became therapy sessions where he's
Yeah.
telling me what's going on. And he's like, yo, bro, what
Yeah.
you think about that? Yo, bro, what you think about that? I told him about podcasts. I'm like, I'm going to start the podcast. I'm going to do this. He's like, yo, I don't really know about that. And da-da-da. You're so saturated. Da-da-da. We talk now. He's like, yo, bro, how'd you get this person? How'd
Yeah.
you do that? How'd
Yeah.
you do that? Like the person, so to give you context, so I wasn't privy to those rooms. I didn't have access to the rooms of BET. I literally, for the 300th episode, had the CMO of BET on the show. But she
Beautiful.
was his boss.
Mm,
She was his boss at one point in time. And her boss, Paxton Baker, who owns the Washington Nationals, ran BET Jazz and her and all that. And we just did that in the stadium, bro. Did it in the stadium behind home plate. It took 4 or 5 years, but you know what? I was just hitting them up with happy birthdays, happy Thanksgivings, your happy Father's Day, King. What you doing, man? Random Tuesday. I'm just thinking about you, bro. You good? Never asked for nothing. I'm like, yo, I want to do another one with you. I'm like, he's like, send me the vision. I said, bro, it's one thing for me to talk to you in the screen, but our culture got to see it.
yeah.
We got to see it. You know, I can't
Yeah.
tell the youngin from my blog that y'all just interview the owner of the Nationals. Okay, they're not going to sit there and watch it, but behind home plate, they will.
Yeah.
And so he
Because
just
you put a
like that.
story to it.
It had us,
Yeah.
bro. He made one call, boop boop boop, called the MLB, called the VP, da da da. I'm on email chains, and next thing you know, it was happening. It was happening, but I was not allowed to be in the rooms. But I created a way to be in the room and create my own table where I can bring all three of them to my table and we could all talk and have a different discussion versus if you brought me to yours.
And everybody eats.
Everybody eats. And now everybody know you. Oh, you know this one? Oh, yeah, that's my dog. So now we all. I knew I came to the right one. I knew it, and now they
Mm-hmm.
feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the beauty of the model that you built. That's the beauty of there's so many different ways to get to that destination, but there's work on every single one of those
Right.
pathways.
Every way.
And you just have to be willing to put in the work. But like what I love about what you've done, and I also want to give this the light and the shine, is we both talked about like we've had people believe in us. We've had people see something in us. And because they saw something in us and they took the time, it helped us get where we're going. Now you have for us. And you have things that you're doing to be able to build out things to help people
Sir.
be able to see that things are possible and that, you know what, as bad as it is, there's a way to be able to get up off the ground.
That's it.
So I want to be able to devote some time to that as well. Like talk to me like we talked about more than a title. I definitely think people need to watch it. They need to pay attention to it. There's so many different things that are going on there that like there's always something. You're always going to get something from it. I've never watched it and not, I mean, I'm a little different. Like I get something from everything, but there's always going to be something that you can get from it. And if one thing doesn't sit with you, I understand people got short attention span, so they may go, well, it's all like that. No, you get a variety of people. So you get a variety of experiences.
Yeah.
Comb through the pages, comb through the podcast, look for the things that relate to you and then go watch those because that's going to open the door, the window, or whatever it needs to be for you to be able to escalate up to the next thing and elevate up to the next thing and elevate up to the next thing. And then next thing you know, all 300 plus episodes are going to be relevant to you because you started at the right part. A lot
Absolutely.
of times people start at the wrong part and that's what throws them off with something. But I want to talk about For Us. I want to talk about some of the things that you have going on because, again, this is the opportunity to be able to say, look at what's possible. And I know, you know, we talked about, you said, like, listen, I had never had a sales job in my life. Look at where you're at now. You not only have your podcast, you not only have your business, but now you're saying, you know what? I've gotten enough under my belt to be able to go, you know what? Now I want to make sure that I'm giving other people the opportunity to be able to have that. It's not the crabs in the barrel. It's let me remove the barrel and make sure that everybody got room to work and find what works best for them. So
Yes.
please tell me about For Us and
Yes.
everything that you have going on right
Yes,
now.
sir. So shout out. This was a passion project of me and Madison Butler. So shout out to Maddie. I love you, Maddie. So she was the first person I saw on LinkedIn. So
Mm,
she encouraged me. So when I went on LinkedIn, when I realized there's only 2% of people posting, I saw one black person. It was her. She was an HR person with blue hair. Stood out.
okay.
Stood out immediately. And I'm like, holy shit, it's a black woman with blue hair that's talking like us, and she's getting thousands and thousands and thousands of likes. There goes it's not impossible. I had to see it. And so
Hmm.
that's how I started my journey. That's how I was so confident to tell the CEO. Because I know, I'm like, look, if she can do it, why can't I do it with the hat and the hoodie? There's so many people. How many people are going to be in sales and marketing that were working at Cannes, that were VPs, that were working in advertising from the Bronx in a hat and a hoodie? 0.1 maybe?
Yeah.
So I have a unique way in. And so that's what I did. And so now the full circle moment is me and Madison creating something for the underdogs. There's 1.5 million black people that have been displaced out of jobs over the past year and a half. 1.5 million. And then some people I know have been looking for jobs for 24 months. I don't know too
Easily.
many people, Americans, just the average, don't have 24 months worth of savings. So what do you do in that instance? And so what we want to do, whether you're looking to climb the corporate ladder, whether you're looking to build your own thing, we want to give you the resources. So we're going to have content strategy. We're going to have personal brand development. We're going to be working with brands on their content strategy. But the whole thing is, how do we stay connected? How do you make
Mm,
sure you meet Madison? How do you make sure you meet Sean? How do you make sure you come to a place where somebody just pissed you off at work and you want to just crash out? Hey, it's safe. This is encrypted. You good. There's just us here. Go ahead. Bug out. Who's Bill? Yeah,
member fam.
he's a bug
Yeah.
out. Yeah, he's a bug out. Fuck him.
Yeah.
And we need
Yeah.
that sometimes. And we
Yeah.
need to know that we're not wilding out, that we're not bugging, that we are going through some different things. And sometimes we just need to vent. And so that's what For Us is going to be. It's going to be all of those wrapped into one, bro. So it's going to be for the Black community. It's going to be for trans community, queer community. It's going to be for anybody who doesn't feel like they have a home.
A
And you can
safe
come to For
space.
Us and be you. It's our safe space. And we're going to give you every possible resource that we have to make sure you're successful in what other path. And it's like an immersive experience. You choose your own journey. You want to do personal branding? Cool. You
You
want
know I love that.
to do data? You want to do this? Okay, cool. We got something for that. Oh yeah, you want to be a CMO? Shit, here's 10 episodes with CMOs telling you what they've done. Okay, cool. Here's a framework. Here, what is it going to cost you? $6 a month? And you're going to have access to everybody. You're going to have access to Sean. You're going to have access to Dr. You're going to have access to everybody who's been on More Than a Title. And that's what I want to do. I want to bring us all together, bro, because at the end of the day, not everybody's going to be able to get back in there. Unfortunately, it just is what it is. But there's enough money for us for we could be sharing intelligence with each other, all right? What is your pricing? Pricing is a big thing for the Black community. How do
Yes,
I
it
price
is.
my services? We need to be sharing this information. I had a young kid, bro. I just posted it. He was like, yeah, I'll charge you $5 for a 30-second animation. I'm like, little
I
bro.
saw that.
Yeah, I
I
was like,
saw
bro,
that.
I'm like, little bro, you know you can add a 0 or 2 behind that and it makes sense. He was like, oh, really? I'm like, how long does it take you to do it? Well, it takes me a long time. Well, that's why you add the zeros.
Yes. Yeah. I
That's
saw
why.
that.
But we don't
I
even know
did.
that. He's 16 years old, bro. He don't know. Who's going to tell him? His mom probably working a job. His dad probably working a job. They're not entrepreneurs. He's going to be a first-generation entrepreneur. Who the hell is going to give him framework
Yeah.
and show him it's possible? So that's what we're doing it for, bro. And that's what I'm so excited about. We're opening
Okay.
our beta this week. We have almost 100 signups already. Thank you to everybody. And I want to hear from everybody. We're going to build this shit together. We just put it out there. But I want to know what you guys want, what you guys need, and we'll build it together because we know what we need. And nobody's going to tell us that. And we're going to do everything in our power to build it for us. And that's why we called it For Us.
I love it. All right. Well, how can people register? How can they get involved? What's the process look like to be able to get into it? Because what I'll do is one, I'm going to make sure that I share the links when I'm building out the mini series of this. And as we continue to have conversations, I'll always make sure that I promote it and point people in the direction so they know how to be able to get involved. But yeah, break it down on how people can register and all the rest of that. I want to have the verbal version so that some people will get it from there. Some people will get it from the actual links, but I want to make sure there's multiple ways out there for.
Absolutely. So you guys, it's a job form. So I'm gonna give it to Sean. So right now, you just fill out the job form. You tell us, your name, your email, what you're looking to accomplish, and really why you're interested in the community. Because we're gonna vet
Okay.
people out, like straight up and down. Not everybody's gonna be able
Okay.
to join.
Okay.
Right? We need to know why. We're not everybody's cup of tea, and we're not trying to be lifted. But for the people that have the like mind like us,
Hmm.
then we're for you, and we're gonna point you in the
Okay.
right direction. And so you can sign up for the job form. We're taking 100 people. The first 100 people are gonna get swag from us. They're gonna get special attention, and we're gonna build this out as a community together. So please, it's on a job form. Let us know. We'd love to have you guys. We're gonna do cookouts this summer. We're gonna do live events. We're actually doing. We
Okay.
talk about the cookout. We're gonna do a cookout.
Okay.
And we're gonna do one, and I would love to see everyone there, man. So once again, I just want to see people win. Everybody needs something different. Everybody learns differently. And you might come to the community, you might not even learn nothing from me per se, or Madison. It may be a peer that has the
Yes.
right answer for you. And that's going to be the beauty of it. So that's what we want. And we'd love to hear from you guys. We'd love to have you. You can sign up now and you're going to get access. We're going to do Discords. We're going to do happy hour virtual chats. We're going to do all types of cool things for the community. And that's what we're doing. So y'all, on top of More Than Title, on top of More Than Media, because I'm actually building out a network as well. Just signed on my first podcast that's going to be with More Than a
Beautiful.
Title. Shout to Mia Hall. And yes,
Beautiful.
she has a great story, parables from the projects. Went from the hood to Harvard.
Wow. Okay.
Hood to Harvard. She's from the pink houses in Brooklyn.
Word. Okay.
Went to Harvard.
Okay.
Brilliant,
Wow.
brilliant sister. And she's us, all the way us. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
Mm.
And so we just have
Mm.
the conversation like, I'm working so hard and I'm doing all of this. Why work so hard? Let's put our resources in the pot.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta be by yourself. I'm by myself. I don't want to be by myself. Let's do this. And so that's what we're doing. We're building out More Than a Media network. I'm looking for other shows. We're building our distribution. We're talking to Peacock, Netflix, a bunch of companies. And I'm just trying to connect some dots, man. And I'm just loving the journey as it happens. And thank you to everyone who supported, man. Because I couldn't do it on days. I can't tell you how many count. Every time I want to quit, I get a DM or something. Every
Hmm.
time I'm like, oh, fuck
That's
this.
how it works.
You know how it works. It is, boom, Jarrett, I love your shit. I'm from here. And you inspired me and keep going. And it's like, damn, guess I'm going to turn the computer on now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have like a monthly call with one of my like one person. I met him, and like one of the reasons that like we're really really cool is because I was uncertain about what I was doing, and the moment I explained it to him, his thing is no, that makes sense. And from that point on, like his thing is, I'm gonna figure out how to help you do what you're doing. And from that point on, it was just like that's the day ones. Everybody has those day ones where they're like, you know what? And then there's the day 30s and you know, whatever it may be, whenever you come into the process, there are some people that like life will always send you the signs that you need to continue going and you
Man,
need that you're on the right path. You just have to pay attention to them. I love what it is that you're doing. I'll make sure that we're talking about it, we're promoting that, but I also want to be able to cover the fact that you are vetting it. And that's important because, like, we know what trolls are. We know how social media goes, where there are bots and all the rest of these things. So I love that you have that because it does need to be a safe space.
absolutely. And then you got to talk about ageism. Then you got to talk about the titles, right? The people from Coca-Cola, Google, Microsoft,
Yeah,
they're going to get a better shake than you. If you ain't got one of those that got the cachet behind it, now you fall further. Oh,
yeah,
you're black, fall further. Oh, you're
yeah,
this, fall further, right? And so what are you
yeah.
going to do? We can't sit there and wait for nobody's coming to save us, y'all. Nobody.
No, no.
Nobody's coming to save us. Nobody's going to have a magic bullet. Nobody's going to have a big check for you. You're sitting there for 24 months and you're putting all that energy to go back into corporate America. If that's what you want to do, cool. But what we want to do is let you know what you're up against, right? We have
Yes,
real public data, bro, from Fortune 500 companies on the app that shows you, okay, PepsiCo has 3% of their workforce that's black, 2% that is trans, 1% that is queer, right? We're showing you so we can show you what brands aligns with you. Which ones you have a
yes.
better chance at? Who are the
Beautiful.
executives at these companies? What are their LinkedIn's? How can you connect with these people? How do you like their posts or something like that so you can start building a relationship? How do you stand out? So that's all the stuff that we're putting in the site. So that's what we want to give you guys the resource. You want to climb the corporate ladder? Cool. You want to go to entrepreneurship? Cool. We're going to make sure that you at least know that you don't have to burn your hand on the stove 4 or 5 times to know that it's hot, right? It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult, but we're going to help you find your way, help you find your story, to help you find the way to appeal to all these people so you can generate that revenue. Because at the end of the day, I think we all want the same thing. Do what we want, when we want, with who we love.
Yes.
I think that's it. And I think we
Yeah.
overcomplicate it. That's it. I don't care if that's at work. If you can do that, if you got a good work-life balance, beautiful. Do that. Yeah. But for me, man, I can't do that, man. I need to be able to say, I'm going to pick up my son at 2 today. And that's what I want to do.
Period.
That's it. It's no negotiation. I can talk at 3 o'clock. I could talk at 1 o'clock, but 2 o'clock, I'm with my child.
Yes.
And nobody can tell me differently. And just like any other freedom in this world, that's something you got to fight for.
Comes at a cost.
Comes with a cost, man. So what cost are you willing to pay? Either way, you're going to pay.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I love what it is that you're doing. I want to circle back to it for a minute. I know that we need to wrap, but I want to circle back to it because what you said is powerful. And I am big on pattern recognition, pathway recognition. What you're showing people is if that's the company that you want to work with, if that's the industry, if that's the niche, if it's any of those things, having that information arms you on what it is that you're trying to get yourself into. It's like if you put in a destination, they show you not just where you're going, but they show you all the things that are going to show up along the way. And so I
every
love that you put that together. I love that that was thought that was put into it. As much as you say you don't do systems and foundations and things like that,
we're doing a
look at
little.
what you just did, bro. I know what I heard in that. I'll be damned. I'm going to let you just skip over that because I know what I heard in that. And that's the type of thing where I look at that and I'm like, yeah, no, that's foundation, that's system, that's information.
Absolutely.
Anytime you can give someone clarity, clarity allows you to be able to get more confident in what it is that you're doing.
That's it.
Clarity allows you to be able to make better decisions. Better decisions lead to you being able to explain it to the people around you. So it relieves the pressure and anxiety that you have because everybody's on your head about like, how are you going to fix this? Or you can tell it to somebody and you repeat it back to them and you get that, I'm going to bring it back. Huh. Then you know, like I bought myself at least 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, whatever it is. You bought yourself enough time for someone to be able to, for you to do the next thing. And as long as you're following through and you have things mapped out, then you can get to that next thing. And then that person builds up and starts to believe in you more. And you don't lose the people that you want to be able to hold on to and all the rest of that. So
True fact.
there's a system in place, there's a plan in place for us. They're doing great things already because they already put that in mind. They were thinking about it. It's not something that's weighing it. To have that kind of forethought and to be able to have those kind of resources is a thing where people are scrambling. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do. It's like they needed it yesterday, and yesterday is they're not going to be able to get to it till tomorrow.
Mm,
So if you're not going to be able to get to it tomorrow, you needed it yesterday. What are you doing with the present? The present is doing the research. The present is finding the people that actually care about you being in that situation.
yeah,
So I think we talked about it. My brother, as my brother told me when I was young, he said the only people that care about you, whether you're upset or going through something, are people that care about you. For us is in the name alone saying we care about you,
that's it. That
and you're giving them the resources and everything that they need for them to be able to get ready. So when the opportunity presents itself, they're able to do something
they're
with it.
ready, and we're gonna have companies that are hiring part of our
Love that.
So if you don't want to go to the Fortune 500s, we're gonna have SaaS companies, different verticals. We're gonna be talking to these hiring managers. We're gonna be getting these
Love that.
applications. We're gonna have sponsorship for content creators, all types. We're gonna have campaigns that you can apply on. We got a partnership with Iconoly. So if you see an
Beautiful.
Adidas campaign, you want to go to it, you're gonna be able to do that as well. So it's so many different things we got baked into this, bro. It's gonna be a one-stop shop, and I'm excited. There's a lot of moving pieces. I just can't wait to see how it goes, man. I know it's gonna help somebody.
I'm proud of you in advance, bro. I
Appreciate
know it's coming out. I'm going to keep track of it and make sure that people not only know about it, but like also trying to make sure the right people know about it. The
Absolutely.
people that need it and the people that are looking for ways to be able to give back and make sure that they're, because some of us, we get to a certain point and we realize, you know what, there's not much more I'm going to be able to accomplish for myself. Now it's about making sure that other people get to accomplish what they need to accomplish. And they're looking for ways to be able to do it. And people knowing that you're out there and you're doing the right thing and you're doing it in a way that helps people is just one more way for them to be able to clean off their ledger because we got to step on some people to get to where we're going sometimes. And when you get to that point, you're like, you know what? I got to clear off some of the dirt that happened along the way. And this is a way for them to be able to do that. So, for so many reasons, what you're doing is powerful. It's for the people that need it and for the people that need to be able to make sure that they can sleep at night.
That's it. We got to get some sleep, y'all. We got to make this happen. I just want to see everybody win, man. I appreciate you for having me on the platform, bro. You know, I love you for free, big bro. And I can't wait to get you into the fold. I can't wait to show you the
Please,
platform, get your,
please,
get your insight, man. We can add your services into it, right? How do you help other businesses that are looking to get that
please.
clarity? We just need it there. We just need
We'll
it.
we'll we'll talk about
Yeah,
we'll
you
talk
know what I'm
about
saying?
that.
Like,
I'm definitely gonna make time for it. It's people say it, and there's like the party talk where you're like, oh, anything you need. When I say it, I mean it. So anything that you need, if I'm able to do it, I will do it. If I can't do it, then I'll try to put you in contact with a person that can. But yeah, I believe in what you're doing. I want to make sure that it's successful and that it gets the light and it gets the people that need the light that moment because everybody needs a moment. And when you get that moment, it makes everything else possible. So love what you're doing, bro.
appreciate you, bro.
All
Likewise.
right. Well, I'm going to bring it back around and we covered real ground today. I said in the promise in this episode, listeners will discover what it actually looks like to stop building for someone else and start building something of your own on your terms. Jarrett's story isn't just about a shortcut. It's about a turning point, a clear vision, and a decision to leverage what you naturally wired to do and make sure that you have something built out. So we not only showed what it was like for you to do it, we talked about me doing it, we talked about what it looks like for other people to be able to do it, and now you're presenting a resource that shows them how they can do it themselves. I
Absolutely.
don't know that we can do much more than that in one episode.
That's it, bro. I'm here if you need a part two, whatever. We need a part two on ours. If you want to do a combined one, we put both of it, do it on the
Absolutely.
live. Let's make something happen, bro.
Absolutely.
I'm here for anything you need. Likewise, bro. Like, it's nothing but
All
love,
right.
man.
I love you, bro. I one of the things that stands out to me the most, and I want to close on this because this is one of the things where people don't hear it enough. It's not just what you're doing, it's that I respect you. Because I've seen a lot of people try to go about doing things a lot of ways, but like you pulled in that old school way of, you know what, I got to keep a foot in the door for everybody else. When we're in an area of everybody seeing to themselves. So it's not just that I love what you're doing, I respect what you're doing because you haven't forgotten and you're making sure that other people get these same opportunities that we got. But in a world where now they actually have opportunities on top of opportunities on top of opportunities. So the chances of failure are drastically less than it was when we would try to do it.
That's it.
And you giving them that opportunity and letting them know it's possible, the probability of them doing what they need to be able to do is even better. So it's legacy building. You're building a legacy for all kind of people. I can't wait to hear the stories of you telling me that, listen, I ran into somebody that I didn't even think that it mattered, but look at what this did. And that's where that's going. And I love that for you.
Appreciate you, bro.
I will absolutely follow back up with you. I want to make sure that we're able to cover that. This is going to be a mini series. I'm going to break this up into pieces so that people don't have to listen to the whole thing. They'll be able to get the piece that matters the most to them in that moment, and then they can come back and catch the rest of it.
Sounds good.
And in the form of having frameworks and systems, I've already built out a series. I just didn't share it with you yet. So I'll make sure that I give you that so you can see all the other things that I already knew that we would be able to cover and talk about. And you let me know what you want to be able to cover and we can do that. But I'm going to give you back your time. I want to say thank you again. Love you, bro. Proud of you.
Bro.
Nothing but respect for what you're doing. Again, let me know anything that you need to be able to do. It's for us, the number 4 and US. There is a form. It's not going to be everybody gets in. It's not a free for all. It's for the people that are actually going to do something with it and are able to make sure that they're communicating and contributing and doing things that's going to matter. So everybody eats. I love it. Can't wait to hear more about it. You come back on. We'll continue to talk about it. Make sure that people know what's going on,
I'm here.
and we'll make sure that when it's live, that we'll have more information for people to be able to understand how to be able to
When we
participate.
do the launch, I would love to have Madison come on too.
Please.
Yes, I would
Please.
love.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I would love for you to meet her. You got to have a strategic thing to talk with her, bro. You're gonna love her. But I appreciate you. I love what you're doing, bro. I love what the space you're creating for us. How real
Appreciate
you
you, bro.
are. There's no fluff. What I tell you off camera, worst thing to no conversation is a fluff conversation.
Yes.
I never have one with my bro. Never.
No.
I always get game.
No.
I always learn. He's introduced me to so many people. I just spoke to Nate today. I'm actually, and then somebody,
Nice.
Nate introduced me. I'm having on the show today. Shout out to Dion. So it's
Okay.
that's how it
That's how it
continues,
goes.
bro.
That's how it
So I
goes.
appreciate you for being a part of that circle, bro. It's love.
All right, nothing but love, bro. This has been the Strategic Thinkers Podcast. This is Jarrett Thomas. This is one of one, more than a title, more than just an entrepreneur, more than the average person, somebody worth listening to, someone worth following, someone worth learning more about, because every time I have a conversation with them, I learn something new and I'm a better person for it. So more than a title for us. Find out everything that he's doing. Tell people where they can find you. Where do you spend most of your time? I want to make sure that we have that set up as well.
Yes, sir. So I'm on LinkedIn, Jarrett Thomas. You know, as you see it spelled here, you guys can find me there. The algorithm should have me up there. I don't know if there's so many Jarrett Thomases, but anything else is Mr. underscore more than a title or more than a title podcast across every platform. We're on TikTok, Kick, Twitch, Facebook, everywhere. We're streaming everywhere. I got TikTok, the youngins are rocking with us. So I'm everywhere, man. You always look for more than title media. You reach out to me. I'm the one controlling all that stuff. You're going to get me directly. So looking forward
That's a
to
big
hearing from
thing.
y'all.
That's a big thing. All right. I'm on a lot of platforms and I know people are on a lot of platforms, but like if somebody's really trying to get a hold of me, I would tell them probably look for me on LinkedIn as opposed to
Okay.
Instagram or Twitter. What's the platform if someone wants to be able to get a faster response from you as opposed to just putting something out there?
LinkedIn.
Which platform is the best one to get you on?
LinkedIn and Instagram are the top 2 right now. So I'm always on
Okay.
every single day. LinkedIn more because
Okay.
that's like the legacy. If it wasn't for LinkedIn,
Yeah.
none of this shit would have happened. So I'm always on LinkedIn. Y'all can DM me. I always respond. I'm always there. I'm gonna get the message. It's gonna pop up like a text message. Just hit me up. And if I don't respond, just know I'm getting back to you.
All right, that's it. Like, share, and subscribe. Look for him on LinkedIn, on all the platforms, but LinkedIn and Instagram are the ones where you can get the fastest response. I want to make sure that people know how to not only find you, but make sure that they can get the response in a timely manner, because normally when people reach out, they needed it yesterday, and here you are today. So that's the best way to be able to do it. Like, share, and subscribe. We will see you next time.
See.